In their one-year-long journey to 30 countries, the four-member Riebenbach family has set foot in 9 Asian countries as of the Lunar New Year holiday. From Kampot, Cambodia, the Riebenbachs traveled to the south to cross the Cambodia-Vietnam border and explore Vietnam for about 3.5 weeks. While in Vietnam, they visited numerous popular destinations throughout the country and also experienced the Lunar New Year, known as Tết in Vietnamese, in Hanoi. Let's listen to the Riebenbachs sharing their thoughts about Vietnam with VOA Vietnamese via Skype. First of all, what surprised you the most when you came to Vietnam?
What surprised us the most?
Anyone can just shout out.
No, there's a lot of
Hoi
Hoi An. The beaches.
Oh, the beaches.
I guess that's what surprised us the most.
Why?
Because we haven't, I don't know, I never thought of Vietnam as a beach destination. You always think of Thailand or Bali or Australia, but you never think of Vietnam, and the beaches here are amazing.
Yeah, they're beautiful.
So that was a big, very nice surprise.
So let's say when you come back to the States, and if your neighbors, colleagues, and friends, classmates, etc. ask you how your experience in Vietnam are, what would you tell them?
You can answer that.
Just phenomenal, really. It's been really interesting. Before this trip, we never really heard of a lot of people talk about visiting Vietnam.
No.
And so it was really interesting to be here, to tour through most of Vietnam, from the south through the north, and learn a lot about Vietnam's culture, their way of life, how they live, how welcoming they are to Americans. Just learning more about their way of life and experiencing that firsthand. And so we hope through our travel blog site that we can help educate other people on Vietnam and encourage them to explore and travel and have an opportunity to enjoy Vietnam themselves.
So how about you guys, Tyler and Kara? Is there anything that you want to tell your friends? That's too much to think of right now.
How about the beaches?
About the beaches.
Or the bicycle riding?
Well, I told them about riding the bikes on the street.
In Hoi An.
Yeah, it was really fun, and there was lots of motorbikes and cars on the streets, so it was a little challenging, and sometimes they would get in your way and stuff.
I told my friends about walking across the street in Ho Chi Minh City with all the motorbikes and the cars. You have to you have to hop between each and every lane, and you have to make it really fast.
Like Frogger.
Yes, like Frogger.
Yeah, because there's motorbikes even on the sidewalks there because the traffic's so bad.
So I guess that's one of the most craziest things that you've ever experienced in Vietnam, right?
Yeah. But it's not a bad thing. It's just kind of
interesting.
You like it?
I like it.
Fun.
It's a little chaotic, and I think that's why we like it.
Actually, speaking of the motorbikes, I read some of your blogs about riding motorbikes, and you missed the chance to renting a bike to go through the city. But actually later I saw a team riding a motorbike. So where was it, and how do you handle riding the motorbikes?
Yes. So we did miss our chance to ride the motorbikes in Ho Chi Minh City, but then we were able to rent them in Hoi An, and so we rode around Hoi An on motorbikes for a day, and that was a lot of fun. Just fitting in right there with the locals and being with them out on the motorbikes, and that was a lot of fun. Just exploring Hoi An and the surrounding area, feeling like we were the locals. So.
We didn't see any tourists really doing that.
No.
Just all locals.
It's just us.
Mama
And it was cool because I guess in one of the pictures, we stop somewhere and then the Vietnamese man invited us over and we drank the coconut water with them, and it was neat, kind of putting ourselves out there on our own, because then you get to interact more with people.
Yeah.
And then after that, we drove a little more to a dead end. And then, like, on one side is the water, and then on the other is, like, houses and stuff. And then we're on, like, a
little street, right?
Yeah, a small street. And then they both turned around fine. But then when Mom turned, she almost fell into the water.
We almost drove over the side into the water. That would have been bad. We came really close. But we didn't.
All right, so now we've been talking a few things about Vietnam. But now, like, I understand there's so many things that you can think of when someone mentions Vietnam. But what would be the first thing comes to your mind if someone mentions Vietnam? Only the first thing.
Right. Well, what part about this trip or our experience?
I would say
Tet.
Oh,
you would first think of Tet.
Yeah, I don't know why. Probably because
We've been talking. It's been part of what we've done the whole time we're here.
like it's been like the Tet type of season, kind of like the whole time that we've been here. So kind of like I think of Vietnam and like this Tet kind of season. So like I kind of think of it of like the streets with all the lanterns and the red decorations, and that's kind of what I just think of Vietnam right now.
Mm-hmm. I think of diversity, because you have the Mekong Delta in the south and the beaches, and it's hot. And then you come up to Hoi An and it's a little bit quieter, and you have the pretty beaches, and then you get to Hanoi.
Yeah. For me, I was really fascinated by the Cu Chi tunnels, and that really made an impression on me. I was, walking through the tunnels and seeing and learning, how the Vietnam War was fought, and just, the tactics that the Vietnamese used. I was really impressed how they were able to live underground the way they did, and the various tactics that they used in the war. So it just left a lasting impression on me. So I'll always think of that. Yeah.
And it was also cool to like see it from like their side, because they were like fighting the Americans. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of cool to see it from like their side, and same as that, all the tactics that they used to defeat the Americans.
Yeah. Yeah, it was really neat.
I don't really know what the first thing comes into mind, but I agree with all of those. I just can't think of one. Another one.
So last but not least, what would be the best piece of advice for those who want to do a long trip around the world as you do?
What's the question?
Any advice for anyone who wants to take a long trip around the world?
It's fun, but difficult.
It's fun, but difficult. Yeah.
Stay in nice places sometimes.
That's a good piece of advice.
Not all the time.
Okay, Kara has a point. Because you have a budget and you're trying to keep your costs low, and if you always try to stay in budget places that aren't that comfortable, it gets to you after a while. So it's nice here and there to have a splurge place where you can relax and spread out, just to kind of get back on track, and then you can do the budget places again.
Yeah, and I would say don't debate it any longer. Just do it. It's hard to get over. It's hard to get beyond the things that you have to give up to take a trip like this. We sold our house, we sold our cars, we took the kids out of awesome schools to have this experience as a family, and
Had to go anyways.
and it's been well worth it. I mean, you can't even put value on it, but for the four of us to be together as a family for a whole year, to share this experience together, to just live like we have been, and traveling and seeing the world and having all these experiences, it's just been really amazing, and it's worth more than any possessions that you could have.